Hi everybody, welcome to this channel. Today I'm going to show you how to change the thread on this Willcox Gibbs industrial overlock machine. This particular model is 502 type 504 to 45. And so I'm going to show you an easy way to just change the color of the thread. But before I get into showing you that, I just want to go over briefly some things about the thread. So make sure that your spools of thread all wind in the same direction. So for example, this one here winds counterclockwise. And the other one I have, the red one, this one winds clockwise. So yeah, you just want to make sure that all three threads wind in one direction. So I'm going to change the thread I have on the machine to this white thread. So this one here is going to be for the needle because it's the least amount, and typically you don't want to have such a small spool. You want to have some, plenty of thread on your spools. And then those other two will be for the loopers. But the thread that goes to the needle doesn't use that much thread. So that's one, and that's going to go the first one. This is 2, and this is 3 for the loopers. So the thread will go through, that's number 1 for the needle. The loopers, so you have the middle and the top and the bottom loopers. And then I'm going to just cut the thread that's currently on there and tie the ends for each of these and just pull them through, which is the quickest and easiest way, but you need to be careful that you make a tight knot and you don't pull too hard because they will undo, and you don't want to have that happen. So I'm just going to cut them and tie the ends. And when you do the ends, the most secure way is just to make a loop, which I will show you. So a loop like this, and then just pull it tight. So you'll do that for each of the spools, attaching the white thread with the pink thread that's currently on there, or whatever thread you have on there, the two threads, the new one and the old one. Okay, so now you have all your threads attached, and now you're going to just pull the different threads through. So we're first going to start with the one that goes to the needle, and this is from the thread tree or stand that comes in through this first one like this. Make sure you get it through the tension discs, and then it's just going to follow through into these different holes here, and then down. It's going to go into that one and then go down, and then that goes right into the needle, which you can't see, but I will be moving that up because I have to rethread that. So for now, I'm just going to carefully pull the thread. So you're pulling it through the thread tree or thread stand. And when I get enough, I'm going to actually retrim it because it can become a mess, and you don't want to get your thread tangled before you even thread the machine. So right now I'm pulling most of the thread through. Let me see here what I have. I think, I got it to where it's the white thread now is pulled through, and now I need to pull that through the tension discs and finish threading it through to the needle. So that's all I'm doing here, and this is where you really want to be careful. You might even want to just pull it out of the tension disc until you get it to the white thread, and then put the white thread through. Either way, will work. And yeah, make sure it doesn't get caught on other parts of the machine. And so you're just pulling through the thread. You're pulling the thread through the different parts, the different parts of the machine that it needs to go through. And once you got all of that, you're going to, I think on this part here, I actually pulled it all the way through and then trimmed the knot at the end so I could put the white thread through the needle. So now it came to the end and just pulling so I have enough lead to thread it. And now I need to move the foot out of the way and actually move the needle up also. So this lever here in the back, you just you're going to push on that, and then it releases the foot and you push it off to the side. So now I need to pull the thread out, or actually pull the needle up. So I turn the needle so it can get raised. And I need to cut the thread so I can pull the pink thread out and then rethread it with the white thread. So I already set it up to get through, and then now I'm just gonna pull the thread through, finish pulling it through the needle, make sure there's plenty of lead thread on there so it doesn't come out while I'm running the machine after I get the other two threads through. And then so for the loopers, you're just going to be pulling each of those threads. So here is, I guess, a diagram. That's what we just did. So that was for the needle. And then these are for the loopers. So we're going to do the top looper, which is the middle one. And the same thing, you just pull the thread through. And again, these, you really have to be careful, especially with the loopers, because then, and I know for me, I really have to be careful because the screws that hold the plates on my machine are frozen. So that's why I'm just showing you how to change the thread as opposed to just rethreading it from, scratch, because I cannot, I cannot show those. So hopefully when I get that unfrozen, I'll actually show you how to thread the loopers too. But at least this will help you get started. And so I'm pulling it through the tension disc, and now I have to open it so that that little door there opens up, and then you can see how it goes through. And this, I'm going to end up cutting the thread because it's going to become quite a bit. But you can see how it goes. So the middle looper in mine it follows what are yellow dots. I don't know if your machines have this or if that was a standard color they use, but it's the yellow. So it goes through the yellow, follows the yellow, and kind of zigzags a little bit. And there's I guess there's 4 parts there, and then it goes before it goes into the spring, which also has a yellow dot, and then it actually goes into the looper, which you won't be able to see, but as long as you're threading this through. So that's why I included the diagram. So if the diagram will help you if you need to thread your loopers if they're not threaded. And so yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing is pulling the thread through this. So I have to be really careful not to pull too hard because I don't want my threads to detach, because then it's, for me in particular with this machine, because I cannot remove the plate right now, a little tricky. Possible, but not easy to be thread without removing that plate. So here I'm just pulling through. I got the white thread. And actually I think I had 2 knots in there, so that's why it looks like I was pulling it twice. There were actually 2 knots because actually when I attached the threads I didn't do it right, so you also need to be careful when you're attaching it correctly, making sure your thread is between the tension discs. And so yeah, I have a lot, so I'm going to cut that. And I'm going to find the thread from that pink tail of overlocked thread. I need to open this up so you can see for the bottom looper anyway. So I cut the thread, and now I'm going to finish pulling it through. And you can see it kind of going there and pulling the thread from the top. And it's okay if it unravels. You need to have it unravel anyway so you can pull the appropriate thread. And then when you get them all done, the machine will, re-loop the thread so it looks like an overlock stitch. So I've pulled this one up and have enough lead thread on there. So I have the middle looper thread change, or not the middle looper, but the top looper. So now I'm going to do the one on the end. Like it says, the manual refers to it as the right looper. So this one's on the bottom, and I'm just going to keep pulling the thread through, just like the other 2 steps I did with the other 2. And at some point I'm going to be trimming it because it becomes, there's too much, which I trimmed it there. And I don't remember if I actually trimmed it again, but it's possible. So you can trim it as many times as you need just to get rid of the excess thread. But make sure you always leave enough so you can have enough to tie it secure knot. And so for the bottom looper, or the right looper as the manual refers to it as, it follows the red. There's red dots that are here on my machine. So again, you're just pulling the thread through the different parts. And then again, I will, at some point here, cut the threads because, like I said, it gets to be a lot and you don't want it to be tangled. So I'm just trying to show you so you can see. If you need to pause, please do so. And I'm also going to see if I can attach the manual to in the description box. If I'm able to do that, it will be there. So if it's not there, I also have those same charts also posted on my community tab. And so you can see where it goes through all these different parts and through in this bottom looper. That's why, to easily access it, it's really helpful if you don't have that plate in the way. If you have to completely rethread it. And so it comes out through here, it goes out and up into the looper. Yeah, so actually a couple times I have, it has come on, when I was trying to rethread it, it did come undone. So it is possible to rethread, like I said, but it's really difficult with that plate. And you really don't want to do that. So here I am pulling the thread through. And actually here, it kind of got stuck. So like because it didn't like the one part that where it goes up. It didn't like that. I guess the knot was too big, so I ended up having to cut it and retrim it. Reattach the ends because it kept getting stuck there. So I then continued just pulling it. So I got the thread on the top and then pulling it through. As you can see how it goes through. I'm just being really careful. Yeah, this is the one looper I really don't want to have to rethread if it comes undone, but it didn't. So it's all the way through. And now I have all 3 threads and I'm ready to, I just have to trim that off. Now I'm ready to just pull those back and close the cover there. And then bring in the foot, the presser foot. And then you just attach, it locks in, you just lift again that same lever that you used to release it. You just lift it up and then it goes in. And it's secure there. And on mine I have this cover part, the table that goes over and closes. So you can see you have to close that part too first before you bring the table part over. Which I just did there. And now I'm going to just get a piece of fabric and I'm running through. So you see this thread is just straight, but when it starts to sew, it will loop, the 2 loopers will weave the thread over the fabric. And so I'm just, so also, yeah, you have to be careful too that the thread doesn't pull up and get all caught. So just adjust it is what I'm doing here. So it doesn't get caught into the stitches. Sorry, my hand's in the way there. Okay, now I'm just making sure the thread didn't get caught. So you just run it through and just check that the tension's okay. And there you go, and you're set. And now you have changed the thread on this overlock machine and you're ready to go. Thank you for watching.